What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of Across the Pond, where two American boys give you the take on the worldwide world of soccer/football. This episode, we are going to be talking about how Chelsea is reloading for the 2019 season, for next year, really. Who is United going to sign at center back, and who's going to be getting out of the knockout stages for Champions League. So let us dive in. I am the host, Richard Reggio, joined by the man with the noggin right across from me, Jacob Bullard. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm okay.
Am I giving you too much energy right now?
A little bit.
Oh, I like it though. I'm like, I just had a cup of, or a douse of V8 right now before this.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, I'm real crazy right now.
I mean, you have to be crazy to drink. No, let's get this straight. All right, let's do a little investigative journalism here. Are we talking like V8? Are we talking like V8 Fusion? Are we talking,
Like, we're talking like
V8.
V8.
You're a monster.
Yes. But I feel great. Tastes great.
The fusion stuff, like half fruit, half vegetables, like that's tolerable. But like straight tomato juice, nah.
Okay. Well, anyways, let us jump into this. Do you want to do our predictions for the Champions League knockout stages, or do you want to get into our headlines? Because this is a special edition.
Let's do the headlines
of Across the Pond. Go check out our last episode where we predicted match day 22. I have like hair.
It is. It was match week 22. You're correct.
Yes. Okay. But anyways, let us get into it. What are we gonna do first?
All right. Let's start off with some softballs.
Softballs? What are
some softballs?
Okay, softballs. Headlines.
Some easy one out of the headlines here. Tyler Adams making a move from one Red Bull club to another, going from New York Red Bull. You had to think about that for a second, but I got you.
No, I was thinking because he's East Coast, so I was like, oh, wasn't he with like New England Revolution? But no, it wasn't.
No. So yeah, making that young American center back, making that move into Europe.
Center back.
Not center. Yeah, center
midfielder.
Back. He plays center back for Red Bull.
He played midfield for us though. Okay.
Moving from New York Red Bulls to Red Bull Leipzig. So what do you think about that? Oh,
it's good. Good move. Hopefully he will go at the accelerated rate that Pulisic and McKennie are at, or were at. It's definitely not the easiest transition. Obviously, the language barrier is going to be a thing. But a dude that he's been playing well for us internationally, and I think it will translate. Hopefully, he can be able to fill in whatever holes that Leipzig has. Obviously, Naby Keita just left this past summer. But what are they at the table, actually? Do you know?
Leipzig? I'm pretty sure they're in the Champions League spots.
Okay.
I think they are, I want to say third right now. Let me double check that, though.
Which is good regardless. I mean, Bundesliga.
They're in fourth.
The Bundesliga has a bunch of our young internationals. Obviously, McKennie, now Tyler Adams. Obviously, Pulisic until the end of this season, which will be going to Chelsea, obviously. We're going to get to later. And then Josh Sargent, who's doing pretty well. Especially with his debut like a month and a half ago now. Scored in his debut, and he's been scoring goals here and there. So it's looking very bright.
He is listed as a midfielder. I don't know why I thought that
I don't think,
that he played center. Who am I thinking of? That
Miazga? Because he played with Red Bulls?
Maybe, but I don't think so.
John Brooks?
No, because he didn't play for Red Bulls either.
Okay,
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I'm like fairly confident that he played center back for the Red Bulls in the MLS Cup.
Well, that was the MLS. This is not the MLS.
Well, okay, whatever. My only concern with this, I actually think that Leipzig might have been, or him moving to Europe was the right move, but Leipzig the wrong club. Because I feel like Leipzig is one of those teams where they just have, like that whole team is prodigies basically.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
I would rather
playing time too since he's been there.
I think I would rather him move to a smaller club.
No, I'm fine with that.
With
I think
like
you're gonna be wrong.
To learn from veteran players, not from people his age.
Well,
now obviously he's going to improve because like the players around him are better.
In general, so.
But I think that it would have been better for him to.
I think that veteran stuff is going to
be
played more out with the international team than into the club team. I feel.
But who's left to like what veterans are we going to bring back? Omar Gonzalez?
You talk about like that kind of would tutelage be right?
Yeah.
the right word for that?
Wow. Yes.
Whenever you talk about that, I don't think that matters as much. I think getting playing time is the thing that matters the most, regardless of getting like pointers or anything like that. I think your manager and getting playing time is gonna. I'd rather have that than sitting on the bench next to a veteran or watch a veteran play.
I'm not saying watch a veteran play. I'm saying like the veteran being there is what helps you in like it's like the little pointers and stuff when you're in training. Like I'm not talking about him.
I guess
like watching a veteran play. You can do that on
playing
TV.
time's going to be more beneficial, and he's already playing. He's already playing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He should be playing.
Okay.
And playing is the most beneficial thing for him to do. But playing alongside a veteran, or at least having a veteran there who can talk to him during training and be like, hey, you should do this instead of this, or when you're in a situation, maybe think about doing this. Like just things like that.
Okay. Well, he's gonna be a Savage. He's playing for a Savage club where nothing but Sharks. So that's all good.
All right.
Let's keep moving.
All right. We'll move on to another youngster making a transfer to a much larger club, however. Brahim Diaz.
Oh, Brahim Diaz. Okay.
Moving from Manchester City to Real Madrid, of all places, for I believe it was like $21 million, or maybe that was pounds. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Pep Guardiola basically saying that if Brahim Diaz didn't want to stay. He didn't want to be committed, and he didn't trust the club's plan for him, so he decided to leave. And Guardiola has always said that anytime a player wants out, like the doors, he doesn't want people there that don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So like the door is open for anyone at any point who wants to leave to take a transfer out. So I think if his complaint was playing time, going to Real Madrid is confusing, short of like just getting that paycheck.
I don't know. I feel that Man City doesn't play hardly enough of anyone on their bench in general. You see Phil Foden coming off, obviously. Zinchenko coming off every so often. Like those are like the only two young guys I can think of. Everyone else is like a first team guy that they've brought in that have been playing so far. So I could see his debate by going, or his side going to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid actually gives you more of a chance. Under Pep, it seems less, or he's not into playing younger players as much, maybe because they're just they're not ready for the system yet. But definitely not seeing those guys was probably pretty discouraging. I never saw Diaz in any of the Premier League games like this year so far, like the first 6 months. If anything, he's only playing cup games. So I think Real Madrid offers you at least a chance, it seems like.
Who's he going to start over at Real Madrid?
I'm not saying he's going to start over. I'm saying getting playing time opportunities. Like Isco wasn't a starter when he got to Real Madrid. He came from what was it? Malaga,
yeah.
and he wasn't like a starter. He got his playing time. He probably got more playing time than usual.
Yeah, but I don't put Brahim Diaz on the same level as Isco.
Yeah, but I know. But I'm saying though, like Inian and Asensio too, guys that took their time, but were given a fair shake. I don't think most of the guys at City, especially the last like 5 years, younger players have not gotten a fair shake compared to like they're like a Chelsea in my eyes. Like playing like younger.
Well, we've
younger
bought
players.
young.
You bought young.
That's the difference between us and like Chelsea, for example. I think.
I think you guys are on the same page.
But Chelsea's youngsters are blocked by old players.
Yeah,
and like still don't get a chance.
Yeah.
Like Phil Foden and we have a below average age squad. That's the problem. That compounds the problem, because yes. Like no one's gonna start. Phil Foden's not gonna start over Silva and De Bruyne, and Brahim Diaz is never gonna start over Sané, Mahrez, Sterling, any of those guys, like that sort of thing. But the problem that I think they see is that those people are young. Like De Bruyne is only 27, so like.
Yeah, but they're not even coming up and as subs either, so that's like another thing.
But that's not, well, it's not true for Foden anyway.
Well, yeah, Foden, yeah, but
Foden's and Zinchenko.
You see the pitch as a sub, but he's not seeing the pitch as a starter most of the time, like in his opportunities.
He started 2 Champions League games.
The Champions League games,
and the Cups
that's
game,
a given.
And the Cup games.
You're gonna play in Champions League. You're gonna get a couple games in there. I just don't. I see Well, even Arsenal too. They're not playing as many young players, but there's definitely playing a lot more young players. See, I have a hard time saying like City doesn't have like not saying like a pure team like Chelsea, like but I would say like Liverpool, United. Who's the other club?
I wouldn't even give it to Liverpool.
Yeah, because I mean Alexander Arnold's come through the system.
So that's one. Then you have Lovren and Van Dijk. They bought Robertson. You've got Henderson, Wijnaldum, whoever else, Milner, mostly in the midfield.
One more than you guys at the moment that I can think of off the top of my head. I know Sturridge came from City to Chelsea, and then Sterling got bought, and then but never mind. Shit.
Liverpool doesn't play anyone like that either.
Well, I mean, they still gave.
And they're getting rid of look at where we had this on here, but I scratched out Solanke leaving for Bournemouth and. Nathaniel Klein, not that Nathaniel Klein is like a young up and coming player anymore, but like Klein's out now.
No, there's Origi too, but he's not starting.
Right.
But I'm saying like getting playing time. I'm just saying playing time in general. Like when I looked at like the FA Cup, like Liverpool, like the whole team was basically besides a couple veterans in there. It was like a bunch of like youth players, and I think actually Lovren got hurt, and then they brought in another center back.
See, I still think that. I guess I'm like biased that this is my club, but like our bench players are our veterans. Our young players are our starters.
I understand that, but
That's the problem.
I think the problem is also when you look at that, you're not even
like Liverpool don't have the same squad that we do.
I know, but I'm just still saying like you're definitely not giving your younger players fair shake, regardless.
I don't agree. I think Brahim Diaz got a fair shake. Like, what did he do with the time that he was given? Like, basically nothing.
I guess, but he still didn't get any playing time.
But he didn't earn any playing time.
I mean,
like he was given. He has come on as a sub multiple times. He has gotten starts in Champions League and Cup games.
Okay.
And like has nothing to show for it.
Still hasn't got a fair shake.
How is that not getting a fair shake?
No, he hasn't get a fair shake, dude. That's what I said. That's
how? Why is that not a fair shake?
This past year, how many appearances has he made this past year?
I'm not sure.
Like this whole within a year, how many appearances?
I don't know without looking up.
Do you remember him playing this past year at all? Like this whole year?
Yes.
Like all 2018. How many times? Do you remember?
I would guess he's played in the 8 to 10 appearance range.
Double check that.
Okay. But like I'm not. My question is, how is that not a fair shake? Oh, you just keep throwing the same thing back.
It's not a fair shake, dude. It's just not it.
Why or how?
He's not getting any playing time. He's not getting a chance.
But that's not true.
Like if anything, most of those are probably subs as well. None of them are starts. Probably got one start out of that. It's not the same. It's just not the same. Like when you want to. And if I'm gonna be a dick about City, but like most of that team is not a product of like City. It's a product of everyone else. I think bringing a bunch of culmination of players together. I get that, but it's still like it's not like an English team in my eyes. Sometimes when I look at it, I mean, obviously you have like Sterling, you have Walker.
We have English players, but it's not made in England. Well, I mean, so
like like when
it's not a homegrown team.
Yeah, exactly. So like I mean, Liverpool, Arsenal. There's no one at the moment right now besides like Ramsey, Bellerin technically because he came in when he was younger. Can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. Holden, but he came in younger too. When you look at Chelsea, there's like literally no one. What else? We already talked about Arsenal. Was another top six? Tottenham.
You and Spurs.
Tottenham and I think maybe us and Spurs probably play more players through our system because our systems are United systems pretty good. I would say probably excellent, but we still bring in players that we still mix it in with like our academy or whatever who's coming through. I guess, but I don't think that's why we're struggling. I think we're struggling because of our manager, but. Still an asterisk since Fergie left, by the way. But anyways.
Okay. Well, let's have to agree or disagree. Because, like...
It's still not a fair shake in my eyes, regardless. So.
But, like, he's not going to get into the team. Like, we literally don't get as many points if he's in the team. Like, that's the reality. Like if he gets the starts that you're requiring for him to have a fair shake, like
I don't know, because like when I look
we
at
don't
like
get the same number of
when I
points.
look at like Paddy McNair, we gave him starting time, but like we moved on.
You gave him starting time at a point where you guys weren't challenging for the league.
Okay, so
You guys could
we're still
afford
like top 6.
You could afford that starting time.
That's because we were trying to figure out what was going on, and I mean, there's Blackett, I think it was his name.
Mm-hmm.
There was another guy we left.
Wilson.
Hearthrope.
Who's that striker? That young striker guy? Was it Wilson?
James Wilson
James
definitely
Wilson.
got starts. He got a fair shake.
Januzaj.
Januzaj. Yeah, there's definitely guys that we given.
But those were at a time where you guys were finishing like between
Januzaj was
fourth
right
and
after
sixth.
Fergie left. So
Yeah, and you finished what? Fourth with no, you finished just out.
So
of
you're
Champions-
saying at that beginning of the season that we didn't have a chance at the title, like when we just came off the title with the same team.
At the beginning of the season, sure, but the playing time that they got over the course of the year was in the lens of we're not going to challenge for the title because it was already gone.
Okay, well,
so we can afford to give people like that playing time. Do you think that? Pogba's not a good example, but like literally any experienced player do you guys have, like Wilson, for example, like anyone would have started over him if there was actually something to play for in the season. Any of your veteran strikers would have started over
like
him.
during that time, I think Van Persie was there. So
There you go. And who played in like the derbies? It was Van Persie, not Wilson. The big important games.
Jump check that, but he might have been hurt.
Well, he scored the. Yeah, I remember specifically because you guys won that one derby late on the free kick that went straight through. That was Van Persie that took the free kick.
Okay, well, regardless, still. Let's just move on. It's still not a fair shake, regardless.
You literally have no evidence or reasoning for that. You're just like, oh, it's not a fair shake. It's City. Screw City. It's not a fair shake.
I'm not saying screw City. I'm just saying he's going to have a better chance at Real Madrid than at City.
That's literally absurd.
I don't think it is.
Quite literally absurd.
Okay, we'll see you in the next 2 years then.
In this coming off season, Real Madrid's going to spend £300 million, and he's never going to see the light of day.
We'll see in the next 2 seasons because you already gave up on Jordan Sancho. So
yeah, because he has one 22-year-old and one 23-year-old in front of him.
I mean, that's exactly why Diaz is leaving. So
exactly, that was my whole point. Thank you for again proving my point. That was everything that I just said.
What I'm saying is like I still didn't get a fair shake either.
What? Okay. Moving on. Since you literally just gave me my own argument back at me.
Because they're not getting a fair shake. So
you just keep throwing that phrase out there with no meaning or anything behind it.
Yeah, that's all the meaning.
Pavard going to Bayern, coming off the 2016 World Cup, 2018 World Cup.
Stuttgart, 35 million, I believe.
Yeah, I think this move is a little late. I think Pavard played well in that system. They do obviously need. It depends on whether or not he's going to play fullback or center back because he played fullback for France, but center back for
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
He has the capabilities of playing both.
But he's not going to displace Joshua Kimmich. So I think the plan here must be to replace Boateng or Hummels.
Yeah. Well, Boateng, regardless, he is like the least amount of appearances actually out of that whole back line. He's just been injury prone, so I think it's a safe blanket to pick him up regardless. And then I think he would want to be playing in Champions League as well. I don't think it helps Bayern out as much because I think they're pretty irrelevant just through like the midfield, unfortunately, at the moment. I think that's like their biggest weaknesses.
Yeah, I think they're missing Tolisso with like that his ACL or whatever injury.
Not even with that. I just think in general they're just like weak through the midfield.
I think they're weak on the wings.
Well, no, it's just like another.
Like they don't have anyone to replace Robin.
Well, I don't know how Kingsley Coman's doing technically, but he's there. They obviously got rid of Douglas Costa like season 4.
That was surprising to me. Just in the context of Robin and Ribéry, them choosing to get rid of Douglas Costa.
And then Narby, what's his name?
Serge Gnabry.
Gnabry.
Yeah.
So you got those two guys that are playing on both sides, but then you have. I mean, I'm not saying like they have depth right there, but they have 2 players on each of those sides. Going forward, obviously Lewandowski, and then they have Wagner right behind him. I would think that they would want to improve the midfield. It doesn't seem like James is having like the same kind of year he had the year before. And Thiago just seems like he's just going at his own pace in a way.
Yeah, I think this is a decent signing for the future. but not something that's going to help them catch Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, there's another option. I mean, you could play Pavard on the right back and then move Kimmich back or move into the midfield because he's capable of doing that as well. Well, Kimmich can play center back as well.
Kimmich was a midfielder, and Pep was like, "No, you're gonna play right back, fam."
Well, that's another bad decision. But anyways, but yeah, Kimmich right there. But I mean, Kimmich at one point seemed like the best right back in the world for a couple minutes there, and he's still like floating like top 5, top 3, depending on the day. Well, last year.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one.
He had a great year last year.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Okay, whatever. He's still one of like top 5. It's just unfortunate that he has to play right back because they don't have a right back. If Pavard can do that and then help, then put him in the midfield, maybe that might help. I don't know. Left back, Alaba. So, but like he maybe get in another because he could play in the midfield too, and it was a midfielder and plays.
He's a midfielder for Austria, right?
I mean, yeah, but he was a midfielder in general, so he got pushed back there. So, I think they have options. They just need to either fill out on the wings or fill out in the midfield. Yeah.
Okay. Moving to your club next, before we get to our 2 like actually really big confirmed transfers. Once again, another transfer window comes, and Man United are linked to every major center back that exists that could potentially be free. So, like, who you've seen them linked to, like, who do you want? What center backs are you looking for or hoping that you
first
sign?
off, I think if we're going to bring in center backs, we need to get rid of dudes so we don't have to have this like conversation like, oh, it's going to be a competition thing. You know what I mean? I think getting rid of Bailly in the summer would probably be best. Getting rid of Rojo. Getting rid of... I think keeping Jones there is good. I don't have a problem with Jones. He does have a mistake in him, but I think in the system we have now, it's benefiting him more. And then whoever we're going to pair with Lindelof, honestly, I think is the big thing. I think Lindelof is the future, and what we need is probably Koulibaly, probably the biggest guy, but we're not going to go after him until the summer. That's what everyone's saying now. But other guys, the dude from Ajax, De Ligt, I think is his name.
De Ligt, yeah.
De Ligt. That's another guy. And obviously the 2 guys one from Inter, what's his name? Skriniar, and then the dude from Fiorentina, Milovovic or something like that. Some Serbian last name probably. I haven't seen those guys at all, so I don't have like a total impression. But Koulibaly, Lindelof pairing is very enticing. If we don't land Koulibaly in the summer, I think maybe going after like another center back in the Premier League. I think maybe Harry Maguire. I don't know if that would be happening. I don't have a problem with Harry Maguire.
I feel like the window for him getting a move is past.
I think we can get him cheaper if anything in the summer, which I'm fine with. I think his price tag at the end. At the
end of the World Cup, it would have been really high.
Yeah, it definitely was inflated. But I think that being cooled off, I think not that Leicester has done spectacular this year, but I think he would want to move from there anyways. I kind of just want like an English center back to pair with him, but at the moment there's not like a clear guy out there that's like, oh, dude, we got to get this guy. A guy that I really like is Nathan Ake. He's been like a solid guy for them. I think he slot in perfectly for with Lindelof. Just a guy that's great on the ball too, and he's a great aerial threat. And also he would also be technically a homegrown player too, because he came through Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Other than that, I mean, whoever they're going to bring in, it's going to depend on the manager and how we play. If Solskjaer miraculously with them, I think it would be a miracle for us to keep him. But if he does, I think whoever we bring in is going to benefit and it's going to make the team obviously better. But they're also not going to have so much pressure on them, because I think we're going to be, if he stays there, regardless, we're going to be scoring a lot of goals. So it's not too much pressure to defend when you score that many goals. So,
yeah, I think you should. If you guys are going to spend money, I think you should make it more of a long-term investment. Which is why I would avoid Koulibaly.
Yeah, I can see that. But it depends on if whatever Solskjaer, if like I said, like if he stays or whoever wants to come in, I think it's gonna have to be competing, not winning the title like next year. I think I'd rather be competing for the title than saying like we're gonna win the title. You know what I mean? I just rather be competitive. I just felt like the first 6 months of the season was just a whole total waste, just because of how we've been playing, and it kind of just pisses me off even more because how we play now is like how we should have been playing, and we would have been in a probably top 4 already right by now, maybe even competing at the way we've been playing. Because dropping points against like Brighton and other teams probably wouldn't happen. So,
okay, that takes us to 2 big acquisitions. I guess the Higuain one, is that confirmed?
He said
like about to be. Okay,
I think yesterday it said the next 48 hours it'll be confirmed.
Okay, so we'll operate under the
That was
assumption that it's
yesterday,
confirmed. Okay,
Yeah. We'll basically have it.
so 2 big additions for Chelsea coming in. The first being Christian Pulisic, or at least I guess he's not coming in now because they did loan him back, but it was a 67 million, something like that.
Oh, I think if depending on the actual euro or pound, I think I'm not, which one's worth more, the pound, right?
The pound.
So yeah, if you think in euros, it'd be 73 million.
Okay.
But I think
a whole lot of money.
Yeah, it's
a
a lot of
record
money.
for an American, and I mean probably top maybe like 15 transfers all time. Like Bale, Ronaldo
again.
Mbappe, Neymar. City have never paid that much for anyone. Coutinho.
Higuain.
Yeah. So, but it's probably up there. I mean, probably like top 15, top 20.
Yeah, but I think it would be like probably top 20. We just have to look at all the numbers. Well, and then all the goalkeepers too, all the center backs that have been coming through this past couple of years. So
Van Dijk would be up there.
Yeah.
Allison was up there for sure.
Ederson.
I think we were in the 40s on Ederson.
Well, regardless, it'd be like he's probably like top 20, top 25.
Yeah, you're right. So Chelsea making the purchase in this winter transfer window, but loaning Pulisic back to Borussia Dortmund. And then again, like I said, we're going to be operating under the assumption that Gonzalo Higuain is going to be rejoining his former manager at Napoli to make a move from AC Milan to, I guess that will technically though be a Juve sale because it's a loan to AC Milan, isn't it?
I think so.
So I'm not sure who's going to get the money out of that, but it's been rumored to be in like the 40 to 50 million range.
I think just the title of it, moving
Higuain.
from Milan to Chelsea, is just the title of it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, because that's just obviously who he plays for right now. So what do you think of both of those moves? I guess we'll start with the Pulisic one.
Pulisic, I think they're going to make their money back within the first year or two in just jersey sales. So
Yeah.
regardless of what they're paying, like if you're saying, oh, they're paying too much, they're like, no, they're going to make that money back. So with the next 2 years, or maybe within a year, or the start of next season, they're going to make their money back in jersey sales alone, in like the Chelsea market and then in the US market, because most people has a Pulisic Dortmund shirt, like most like big US fans, I would say. Don't you have one?
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony has one too. So it's like
two people have one.
yeah, but like, you're like Anthony's barely a soccer fan, and then like you, Pulisic, you're like, oh, I want a Dortmund shirt.
It's true.
So I think anyone that like buying kits, they're definitely gonna in America. They're gonna
Yeah, they definitely overnight tripled the number of Chelsea fans in the United States.
Yeah. I think he's gonna slot in fine. I think either Willian or Pedro is probably gone, and they're already aged, and like their numbers are going down. I watched Statman Dave break it down, and the combination of whoever's in the middle with Hazard, if Hazard does stay on the left, and then Pulisic on the right, is actually it's a pretty good combo. When Pulisic is on the field, he does there's just a natural just boost, but it's just how he's going to handle the pressure, and then how fast is he going to get worked into the first team. You know what I mean? Or is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be getting rotated in and out? But it's going to depend on how that works out. I think I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be at a level of like top 10 players at the end of it. You know what I mean? Where he's like an elite player. I think he's just going to be like right on the like outskirts of that by the end of his career.
Top 10 what? Like primarily players in the league or
In
like
the world.
In the world.
Like, you know what I mean? Like elite players. Like when you
Okay.
think of like elite players like Neymar, Cavani, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like he's going to be like right outside of that. Kind of. I put him like, well, Hazard I don't think he's elite. I think he's just like a great player, like extraordinarily great player. It's just he's not there yet. Or maybe this year probably he'll probably be out there. But like when I think of like his rating at the end, it'll be like max 87 on FIFA. Sorry, but yeah, I think he'll fit in fine. We'll have to see it when he actually plays. That's I think the big difference.
Yeah, I think that it's probably. I think I would have preferred to see him at Liverpool back under Klopp personally, but if he was going to make a move to the Premier League, I think. But Chelsea is a good move in the context of like who he has in front of him, and even though I mean, as we talked about at length earlier, like Chelsea doesn't have a good track record of getting young people into their squad, but
they have like a terrible track record in general and people they bring in. Like I think ESPN FC looked at like the last like 30 dudes or something like that came in, and they were gone like within a couple of years. So regardless of Chelsea's system, like you don't really last long unless you're like a truly great player.
So I think that with like him being behind Willian and Pedro on the right, it's about as good of a scenario as you could ask for moving to Chelsea, because like both of the players ahead of him are in their 30s. At least one of them going to be moved in the not too distant future, maybe as early as like this coming summer when he actually moves from Dortmund, or like his like loan ends with Dortmund now. I think that it's possible that it could have maybe been like a year too early, but now's as good a time as any, I suppose.
Yeah, because I think he's getting obviously this past year he's been spaced out by Jordan Sancho's definitely taking that right wing by the balls.
Yeah, I think that
he's definitely made less appearances this year, but I think he's still vital for that Dortmund team. Just now they have actual depth on that team, but losing him, I think they'll be able to replace him because Dortmund, that's just the way they operate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Sarri system he's going to fit pretty well, honestly. Because you look at the combo, I think if Higuain is going to be there for a couple years, and Hazard, because his time's running out as like a player that is going to be in his like peak window. This is it probably, unless he wants to move on. But like Hazard, Higuain, Pulisic, like 6 months into the next season, that'll probably be like that might very well be one of the best attacking sides in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think that as far as the Higuain move is concerned, I texted you when you sent me the link to this. This was basically inevitable. That like Chelsea were not necessarily that it was Higuain, but like someone like this.
Yeah.
Just because of Alvaro Morata's inability to like really, get going.
Yeah, be just straight lethal and like a savage. He has not done any of that. I'm not too sure what it is. I mean, like when he was at Juventus, he just finds the net. At Chelsea, he just somehow doesn't find the net at all. He's like anti-net.
Yeah.
Even against poor sides, he only really just shows up against poor sides, and like there's a lot of missed chances in those him converting goals.
Yeah. I think that if I was Chelsea, the only thing I don't know that Higuain has had. Well, it could go both ways because Higuain's most successful years are under Sarri at Napoli. So in that sense, this could be a really good fit, and we could see a string of good performances from Higuain for the next, half of the season or whatever. But I also don't think I think that when he struggled at Real Madrid and left. You would have to try really hard not to succeed in that Juve team with as good as they are relative to the teams below them in the league. So, I mean, I kind of take his stats at Juve with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not that he didn't have some incredible games and some incredible goals, but like the team that was around him in that league when they won 7 straight Scudettos. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, he's only at Juve for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think his best years were at Napoli.
Yeah, that's why I said his best seasons were the ones under Sarri, and he's not really and I think AC Milan is kind of the other way, where it's like he's a good striker on a poor team, or at least a team in poor form.
Yeah, and I also think the Sarri team right now with Chelsea, I think they're a great supporting cast. I think those batch of players around him are going to be better than what he had at Milan.
Yes.
Honestly, I think even at Juventus too. Actually, Juventus is weird. You would have to I would have to look at the stats, but I feel like Chelsea's supporting cast around him would definitely better fit him, because I think it was a different system too. I think Sarri's system he's gonna get a lot of service because Hazard isn't that much of a selfish player. Willian loves getting assists, and then that midfield too with Conte, Barkley, Kovacic, and Jorginho. So it's like there's a lot of, and then he's reuniting with Jorginho too. So it's another player. So I think it's all gonna fit well for him.
Okay. Well, that's it for transfers, I guess. So we'll keep an eye out over the remainder of the month of January for any other big moves that are going to be confirmed. I'm sure there will be a few at least.
Yeah, like Fabregas went.
Oh yeah, there were some Monaco.
Monaco, and then
Naldo went to Monaco.
Those are kind of like interesting moves. I don't think it does anything for the league at all. I think it just is them just trying to get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
But I think they needed those kind of players there anyways, it seems like, with all the players that are leaving.
Luis Muriel went back to the Serie A. He used to play for Udinese, and now he plays for
I think Morata has
Fiorentina that signed him, someone
a
like
loan deal to Sevilla. I think it was a link since Higuain's coming in. They're going to move him out on a loan deal, and then there will be an option to buy out. Other than that, I can't think of anyone else that's like too big. What's the other Chelsea guy that just is probably going to leave to go to Bayern, which I don't think is. It might be a good decision actually.
Hudson-Odoi.
Hudson-Odoi. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, we'll see. Let's move in Champions League.
Yeah, let's do it. The champions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our Champions League predictions. We're going to tell you who wins. Each of us will. We won't agree, probably, but it's okay.
So for the record, we are predicting who's going through.
Yes, who's going through.
Game by game. Okay.
Do you want to even put aggregate scores too?
I mean, sure, why not?
Okay. F it. First one, let's do it. Who's first on the list?
I have them in chronological order.
Okay.
So the first Tuesday with the Champions League returns. The first game is Roma and Porto.
Roma versus
for the
Porto.
first matchup.
Oh my God, I fucking drew Porto draw. Yeah, didn't Roma just hit the jackpot on this one? Kind of in a way.
Well, I mean, of the first place teams, yes.
And then also Porto's like, oh, we got Roma. It's like,
yeah,
they're kind of like, okay, we could do this. I think
it's like that Spider-Man meme. It's like, hey, we could be you.
Yeah. An interesting matchup. I know Roma hasn't had the best year so far, but they are having a good Champions League year. They got out of their group. Porto, a side that kind of is just there in a way. And they're kind of like, they're not the punching bag, but they get punched and they get knocked out eventually. But I want to go with Roma on this one just because I think they have better quality in general, even though they might slip up. It seems like Rajan Angolan leaving, we've already talked about this before, has definitely totally not been filled in a way.
Yeah.
And then their production up top too hasn't been the same.
That's what I was going to say. So for me,
I think it's a combination of both.
I'm going with Porto in this. Okay. I think that they're definitely capable of beating Roma, and this is not the same Roma. I think what put Roma through in second in their group was that they were playing better at the beginning of the year, but recently over the last, especially in the league over the last month to 6 weeks, it's been fairly poor. I think you're right about them missing Nainggolan could be part of it, but I also think that if I look at Nainggolan's performances at Inter, I don't know that they're really missing that, because he's not, in my opinion, he's not really playing that well at Inter. But it's up front where I think their problems are. It's they're getting much less production from Dzeko. Like if you look at when they made the Champions League semifinal last year, like Dzeko put in like almost 40, I think, goals on the season, like all competitions. And like he's not getting the same level of production. Under is not giving out the same level of production of his like kind of breakout year last year. El Shaarawy is contributing very little, if at all. Justin Kluivert is like not been just really inconsistent so far this season. So I just don't see them having enough goals to get past Porto. I think that Porto, I mean, obviously they had an easy group to get through, but I think Porto is going to be the one moving on. Okay. So you want to give me a score line, an aggregate?
I'll go 3-2.
3-2 for Roma?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4-2 for Porto. Right. But I kind of feel like it's going to be like the second game's not going to matter, but they might, make it interesting sort of thing. Okay, moving on. A tie that looks much different now than it did
when it drew
a few weeks ago. Yeah. The second game on that first Tuesday is Manchester United versus PSG.
Ooh. Hey, PSG.
Like I said, no one will be more upset than PSG that there was this managerial, that Mourinho's gone now.
Yes. Well, I think we're going to really find out because they're kind of similar-ish kind of styles with like PSG and Tottenham. Just attack. I like our matchup. It's going to depend on possession. I think that's like the big thing on us. Like, are we going to be the team absorbing everything? Because we definitely have the quality to hold the ball. Like, are we going to be able to do that? I think this game's like next week?
No, these games are in February.
Oh, February. Sorry. Fuck. What am I thinking?
They're like a month from now.
Yeah, for like a month from now. So like, my decision might change after this weekend, but United's gonna win this. I don't give a dude. I think the PSG is gonna finally play some good teams. It's been a while since Champions League happened, since they played Napoli and Liverpool, so they're gonna be really surprised. And yeah, so I'm gonna go with United.
I agree with you in some sense that it's to your benefit that PSG play in Liga.
This is gonna be a bloodbath, though. Honestly,
this is going to be a shootout.
Yeah,
I don't think that either one of these teams are going to be able to defend well against the other.
Yeah.
But I do think that if Pogba continues to play the way that he's played since Ole Gunnar, I'll never pronounce his last name properly, Solskjaer. If he plays that well, I think that United might actually have the edge in midfield. Especially if after the transfer window, if Rabiot's gone and stuff like that, I think that could be a problem for PSG in defending Manchester United. But I also think that PSG have the better backline than Man United. And going forward, Man United don't have Neymar and Mbappe. That's just like a reality. Not that they don't have dynamic, like quick players, which you guys do with like Rashford and Martial. Stuff like that. But I just think that in a shootout, I would rather have Neymar and Mbappe on my team than not. So I'm going to go with PSG. But like I said, I think it's definitely going to be closer than it was going to be if Mourinho was still there.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going with Manchester United.
See, if Mourinho was there, I would have said 10-1. PSG.
What is it?
It's 10-9 Manchester United.
10-9 Manchester United.
10-9.
Dang, that's gonna be quite the shootout. I'm actually gonna give this. I'm gonna say 5-5, and PSG is gonna go through
on aggregate.
Yeah.
Okay. Tottenham Dortmund.
Yep.
Ooh, my ball's getting a little bit warmer now. There's a lot of attacking going on in the last two picks. I like Dortmund. I felt at times this year they've actually been one of the best sides in Europe in general.
I still can't believe you went 10-9. Sorry, continue. Like, that's a lot of goals.
Yeah. And I feel like Spurs have not played well against great teams. So Dortmund is a great team. I'm going to go with Dortmund on this one.
I'm torn just because Dortmund is such a young team where there's at least a greater potential for there to be inconsistencies. Because you look at, like you even look at the 2 games between Dortmund and Atleti, where like Dortmund, you could get the Dortmund that like pasted Atleti like 4-0, and then you get that, what was it, 0-0 or 1-1 draw that they had in the second game sort of thing.
Bruges, I think, right?
No, they did drop points to Bruges, but I'm talking about like both the games against Atleti in their group. But Tottenham have recently anyway, a poor record against other top teams in the Premier League. I think Dortmund are going to be a little bit more on their game this year than relative to other years, just because they're in the driver's seat in the Bundesliga and need to like, keep that level of performance up if they want to keep Bayern back. So that's going to be working against Spurs. So I think I'm going to go with Dortmund as well. So what's the scoreline that you have for that?
4-0.
Tottenham not going to score.
You just got to shut Harry Kane down. You're good.
4-0 for Dortmund. Okay. I think I'm going to go 5-2 for Dortmund. I'm gonna give Harry Kane. Should I take it back? I'm gonna give Harry Kane 1 goal. I'm gonna give Son 1 goal. And Dortmund are gonna just like run everywhere else and score a bunch of goals.
Agreed.
The second Wednesday matchup: Ajax versus Real Madrid. I don't know. What do you think? This one? I think this one could be more interesting of a tie than it looks like.
I think this is actually a decent Ajax side. I think De Jong. De Ligt has been pretty good. He actually played pretty well against Mbappe, and forgot who else. But I like this side. I think it's an interesting matchup because this is not Real Madrid from last year. Obviously, I'm not sure if it's because someone's missing or not. I don't know. Maybe a couple people are missing. Maybe I don't know. But I think Real Madrid will just figure it out. This year they have not played well in Champions League, or as well as they should be, or usually are. But I think they'll figure out how to beat Ajax at the end of this, regardless. So I'm gonna go with Madrid.
This is definitely a much better side than I think most people will realize for Ajax. They gave Bayern actually a pretty good run for their money in their group to finish second. In that last game, the last game of the group stage, I think was a 3-3 draw with Bayern. That was like absolutely crazy game. I think Ajax have almost like their own little golden generation going right now. Just like all the people that they have coming up, from like De Ligt and Frankie De Jong and not Lozano. Lozano plays for PSV. I don't know why I thought I was going to add him in there, but he doesn't play for them. In any case, they have a good young team. And if there was ever time to play Real Madrid, it's now. If there's ever time to draw Real Madrid in the Champions League, it's now. Real Madrid regularly dropping points still in La Liga. They just had, I think, a 2-0 loss to Villarreal this last week. Now, obviously, this game's a month from now, but barring a huge amount of transfer spending in the January window, I don't really see how Real Madrid are going to improve their position. The only thing I might say is that with Real Madrid struggling in the league so much, they're going to put just like so much more effort into the Champions League than they might normally. But I actually think I'm going to go with Ajax on this.
Interesting. Because
Real Madrid just have not been able to get results consistently at all. And I think that especially if Real Madrid aren't careful at the Bernabeu, I think they're going to have a really hard time when they go away.
Yeah, I think this is like might be the last year this Ajax team might be all together regardless.
Before they get like picked. It's going to be like Monaco last year.
Because I think, De Jong and De Ligt, I think are rated like 150 million together. So, but I think teams will have enough to offer up. I think it'll be 3-1.
3-1, and you said Real Madrid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-1 Real Madrid. I'm gonna go 2-2 with Ajax going through.
Okay.
On
Holding on.
Yeah, on the away goals. That takes us to the following week. First matchup being another big game. Liverpool versus Bayern Munich. Tell me what you think. Who you got?
Let's just say Bayern.
Why can't you do that before the podcast starts when we clap?
Bayern is not going to be fine. Okay, Bayern is going to be a wrath of just rage because someone might not win the Premier League. I know you would want Liverpool to go through regardless too. So I know who you're going to pick anyways. But no, I think Liverpool easily the top 3 team right now in the world regardless. They have more depth. They're not like we've talked about throughout the year in the Premier League in our regular podcasts. They're just not. They're like they found like a gear that they can go down to and get results. And with the players that they brought in, they definitely have the depth for this. Now, it was like last year was like Liverpool's in the Champions League final. What happened? And this year, I think they're going to continue going through. I don't know how far. Well, it depends after this game because I know they're going to win this knockout stage, and Bayern are going to be sent home. And I don't think Dortmund's going to like that very much. But yeah, Liverpool.
Liverpool? Okay. I do very badly want Liverpool. I don't want Liverpool to get bounced too early and put all their focus on the Premier League. So I'm going to go Liverpool as well. I think very similar to the last matchup with Real Madrid. I think that if you look over the last 5 or 6 years, if you wanted to pick a time to play Bayern Munich, it's now. Considering how good that they've been for 5 or 6 years. And I think that on the Bayern Munich side, they're 6 or 7 points behind Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and they're playing a better Dortmund than Dortmund. Like this is the real Borussia Dortmund that they're playing right now.
Well, I think also too, ever since Pep left, they're not been the same. Obviously. Well, they just have had quality. I think that's all they've been carried.
I think they've had basically the same squad this whole time, and I think that's starting to catch up with them a little bit. So I am going to go with Liverpool. Like I said, I think that they're just the better team. I think that they're starting to run out of things to play for. I mean, being they're out of the FA Cup, they're not in the League Cup, so it's just Champions League and the Premier League left for them. So yeah, what's the scoreline? What do you got?
7-1.
7-1. The disrespect. I think Bayern are definitely capable of scoring more than one goal, but
it's gonna be a spectacular goal by.
I'm gonna go 6-2.
Okay,
I gave them an extra goal.
You moved by 7 over.
They're capable of scoring more than one goal, so I'm going to go 7-2 or 6-2. But yeah, I think that Liverpool definitely have the ability in this matchup to embarrass Bayern Munich. Yeah. It's possible. 3 more matchups we got here. We got Lyon coming from Liga up against Barcelona from the Spanish League. Who you got? What do you think?
A Barcelona team. They've just been Barcelona this year, I guess, right? You know what I mean? It's like they're just there. You know, they kind of haven't been the Barcelona team of like total dominance of pass. You know what I mean? Obviously, people have moved on, and there's people that have aged at the club. I still think they're a great side.
Sorry, I just saw the Carabao Cup score. 9-0.
Still like a top 5 team in the world, I think. Regardless.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Barcelona top 5.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on who's going to be moving in front of them that day. And a Lyon side, that's just... Thanks for playing. You did a great job getting out of your group. But unfortunately, this is where the road ends for you. So I'm going to go with Barcelona.
I think that Lyon could nick a draw. I mean, they played well against us in not that we were playing great, but I mean, they played well against us in our group. coming out of this. I think that Lyon having a team like Manchester City to play, and obviously they play PSG every once in a while in their league, but I think that'll be a little bit of a benefit for them because stylistically they're similar, us and Barcelona. But Barcelona are just going to have way too much over the course. So do you see 9-0 right there? Yeah. Are going to have too much over the course of 2 legs, especially, one of these games is going to be played at the Camp Nou. So that's the one where I think Lyon are in danger of kind of letting it get away from them. But they have played well so far this season. They're going to be in the Champions League again next year, just from the league. But tis not their draw. Tis not the draw they wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think obviously both of us are going to go for Barcelona here.
Yes.
Got a scoreline in mind?
6-3.
Okay, so Lyon can score 3 against Barcelona, but Bayern can't score more than 1 against Liverpool.
Bayern sucks.
Okay, 6-3.
Different quality.
I'm going to go 7-1 because this is Lyon playing a real team.
Okay. Also, City wasn't a real team?
No, we played pretty poorly against them, actually.
Okay.
Speaking of Manchester City, Schalke versus Manchester City on the final day of the first round, or the round of 16. Who you got? Are you not? How come we're not doing here?
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's a Schalke side that's actually surprised, I think, a lot of people in Champions League.
In Champions League, okay.
Like, they're like, whoa.
What I was looking up when I saw
They're not doing great in the
they're
league.
in 14th.
Yeah, they're not doing so great in the league, though, as a consequence, unfortunately. But I think they'll stay up in the Bundesliga regardless. So it's
I don't think they're going down.
Get, man. What else we got? What do we could do, dude? We got to figure something out here. Who? They were second place, but what group? They were in the Porto group, right?
Yeah.
I think they're going to make it interesting. I don't think they're going to win, but I think it'll be pretty close. I think this is the one where I call an aggregate one on goal difference.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, just cause.
Just cause.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going with City, but on aggregate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're going to go City too?
Well, quite obviously, I'm going to go Manchester City. I do think that we've been, especially over the last month or so, been leaking goals. We've had a hard time keeping clean sheets, and that's a problem, especially in the Champions League, because of the away goals rule. But I don't think that Schalke are going to put up much of a fight here. Sure. They gave us one good game. In fact, they almost beat us, barring 2 late goals, I think, when we were in Schalke. But I think
that'll be the difference right there, playing in Schalke, because I think that their fan base is just as crazy as Dortmund's fan base.
I guess, though. I guess the recent history that has me mildly concerned is our round of 16 games against Monaco 2 years ago. Obviously, that was
a great Monaco team.
It was, yeah, I know, but it was a team that we should have beat and didn't. Like, we should have beat that Monaco team. As good as they were, like with Mbappe, and then Bernardo Silva was there at the time. Mendy was still at the time, if I'm beating it right.
Bernardo Silva.
But I think we have enough. I think we're definitely right. If this game was like 2 weeks ago, I may be in the same point where it's like someone's going through it on away goals or something like that. But I feel like we've righted the ship.
Who knows? Pep might want to throw this one and like, hey, let's go win the league.
I think we've righted the ship a little bit, especially after that. I actually think this is going to help Schalke that we didn't lose to Liverpool, because then it would be like, well, league's gone. The champions.
I don't think you guys would win Champions League. So if you guys,
no, I don't think we would win Champions League, but I think we would put all of our focus there for sure. So what's the score? Someone's going to go through on away goals. You said what's
3-3.
the score? 3. Okay. Someone goes through on away goals is going to be far more than 3-3. I'm going to go 7-4. I think we're definitely capable of outscoring them, but we can be leaky at times. So I'm going to go 7-4 for City.
wow.
That takes us to our last, hopefully not boring, but potential actually to be really boring tie.
I think it's the biggest tie out of all of them because it's just an interesting matchup.
Bigger than Liverpool Bayern?
Yeah.
Bigger than Man U PSG?
Yeah.
Really? All right.
But
Atletico
I
Madrid.
think the only reason why Manchester or PSG is going to be people will say that's bigger is because it's going to be more exciting. These two games are not going to be. I don't think. But I think Ronaldo does pretty good or pretty well against Atleti sides, regardless. He doesn't have Sergio Ramos though.
He might personally have like a good record against Atleti, but his time at Real Madrid, they did not have a good record against Atleti.
Oh yeah, but this is interesting because I don't know who's gonna win. Honestly, this one's like when I saw the draw, I'm like, I had like in my head, I was like, oh, okay, well, obviously PSG. I was like, oh fuck, PSG's gonna beat us. Like, but this one, I was a little puzzled. I was like, oh man, dude, like defense.
Yeah, that's the danger of this side. That's why it could be really boring.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Griezmann on one side, you got Ronaldo on the other. I think I own Dybala too, but I can't even figure out which team is going to win this one. Like I might as well just flip a coin on this one. I don't have a coin in my pocket. I was gonna I don't know how to finish this bet. I have some coins over there, but they're too far. That's not gonna work.
Heads or tails?
It's not well balanced.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
Wait, we have to determine what side is tails first. So the side with the little triangle thing is heads.
Okay.
All right, ready? It's heads.
Heads.
So who did you say head was?
I don't know. You're
supposed to know this already.
I was going to say Juventus then.
Good. That's a good choice because that's what I'm going to go with too. I think that one side has Cristiano Ronaldo and the other side doesn't. I think that'll be the difference. I think that who has goal of the tournament so far?
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo, that volley against United in that game in Turin. I think that this is the competition that Cristiano Ronaldo lives for. And I think this is the competition that Juve are striving for because the league is theirs and has been for a really long time. This is what they've been missing. Part of me hopes that they get bounced only because I think that if there is I don't know. In my opinion, these two teams are the teams that deserve a Champions League for what they've done over the last 5 years. Yeah. One of them deserves one. Atleti losing 2 finals and Juve losing 2 finals, right?
Yep.
Over the last 5 years, and then Liverpool obviously losing the one last year. I hope one of these two teams getting the Champions League trophy would be the icing on the cake for that period of their club's history. I don't know that it's going to happen. Obviously, one of them are not going to make it through the round of 16, but I just think that Cristiano Ronaldo is, as good as Griezmann is. I think I almost said Real Madrid. I think Juventus just have a couple more weapons, specifically Dybala. And I don't know. It's so close. I think Atleti actually have the better defense and by far the better goalkeeper.
My bold statement is the winner of this stage game, whatever you want to call it, these games, is going to win the Champions League.
So you think Juve are going to win the Champions League?
Yeah. But I think out of the pair, regardless of the result, I think either of these teams are going to win Champions League.
Okay. I mean, from just a neutral fan of football, I hope you're right because short of City winning it, I hope you're right because I
only see
no, I don't think they are. That's not what I said. Good grief. I think that like I said, these two teams deserve it. I would be sad if it was Juve, especially 1 year after Gigi Buffon leaves.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Maybe they could get a loan deal for the rest of once PSG. If United beat, here's the out. Oh no, these games are in February. It's not going to work. I was going to say United beats PSG 5-0 in the first leg, and then Juve gets a loan deal for Buffon for the rest of the season. So yeah, both of us going for Juve. What's the scoreline?
1-0.
Over both legs, 1-0. Woo! I'm going to go 3-1. I think maybe the first game might be 1-1, second game 2-0. Something like that. All right. That's all she wrote.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That has been Across the Pond, where two American boys talk about the worldwide world of soccer/football. Let us know your Champions League predictions down below. And that has been it, ladies and gentlemen. I have been the host, Rich Rodillo, joined by the man with the noggin. Thank you guys for listening to the special edition of Across the Pond, where we talked about Champions League and other stuff. We usually don't do that. It's been nice. Different pace, change pace, I guess. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the College Avenue channel and liking the video, because that helps us out. Liking the video in general. You don't have to subscribe. Just like the video, please. And if you're listening to the audios on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, or Google Play and iTunes Podcasts, give us those loves, hearts, and 5-star reviews. And that is it. We shall see you guys next week after the Premier League Match Day 22. You should go listen to that if you haven't already.